Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley.
Perfect timing.
I tried.
So I'm guessing at this point, I self-kicked myself. It's me. So I'm guessing we're not having the intro today then.
Nope.
No intro. I can probably get 2 or 3 seconds before screams.
Okay. So does that mean we can dispense with housekeeping too?
Unless one of you wants to do it for me, we will be dispensing with housekeeping for this show.
Oh dear.
All right. Should we just rattle through housekeeping really quickly?
Sure.
Arwin, have you got any evidence of gravity? No? Great.
Yes, I
move
got
on.
evidence of gravity plenty.
So,
Idiot.
we're Travis. I'll listen to your hangout with the non sequitur show.
Yeah.
I have to put in a formal complaint.
Okay.
You gave them a much better sound quality of microphone than what you give us.
That's because I wasn't driving.
Yeah, I'm seeing an allegiance towards the dark side.
Oh, I see what that is. Okay, maybe. I don't know. I'll have to look into that.
I hope Nathan turned you up a little bit. You're dead quiet.
Yeah, I got my Bluetooth in instead of my other stuff. So.
Watch out for them line divides.
Yeah.
Shots,
Stop distracting me.
woodpeckers.
Move on.
Oh, Jose, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Have you had any interactions with Soundly recently?
No, I have not.
Because the ballers are actually still claiming that you've validated his observations. Yeah. Is that still what you're hearing, or have you not heard that recently?
Yeah, I hear that. 2 days ago, when was it? After the debate show, when I presented a bunch of points 2 days ago, I went later in the afternoon before I went to work, and they told me they were showing me screenshots of my own videos, telling me like, look, exactly like Soundly. The water appears to go up a little bit to the middle, and then whatever straightening in the horizon. I say, I don't see it, bro. I mean, I was telling them.
No,
And then I start seeing it. Well, it kind of looked like, but when it appears to start going down a little bit, it's when the mirage zone starts, when the little mirroring effect starts. So it's some kind of an odd optical illusion, but I don't see it. I don't see it matching at all, bro.
Let's put it succinctly, right? So, Jose did not validate or verify Soundly's observation with his own observations. Any moron can see it, and you're all delusional if you think that they're the same. They weren't the same. Now, it might be because of a bit of weather, it might be because of a different camera, but the point is that it didn't do the same thing. So if you guys want to believe the nonsense that you believe, which is that it validated Soundly's stuff, we're just going to laugh at everybody that thinks that that's the case, because anybody with a normal set of eyes can see that they are not the same. Anyway. So where are we going to go then? Because we have numerous outstanding issues from these ballers that they keep saying are silly assertions, like things like a 69-mile north or south traveling causes the North Star, to move by 1 degree, and that only works on a plane. If it's on a sphere, it's gradual and it's exponential as well, because we live on a curve. So Tim is basically still maintaining his position that 69 miles, 1 degree. Well, unless we live on a plane, that's our argument, Tim. So we're not. We just need to point that one out. Anybody that hears 69 miles, 1 degree, then that makes it a slope.
That's also the tilt. That's also the tilt if any big building or anything, right?
Yeah, there should be a tilt on it as well, but it would be minuscule if the building would have to be huge. Because the buildings are only small, you can only see so far and over 20
But it's the
miles.
same. It's the same number that applies. 1 degree per 69 miles.
Yes, yes. But if you're going to claim that, we live on a slope. Let me try and get the chat open.
Right. So anybody see the CBS video interview with Patricia Steer?
Yeah, I saw it.
It was pretty good.
Yeah. No, it's pretty.
The funny thing is, I had a chat about it with Rust. I had, and we both concluded pretty much that they could have had a lot more opportunity to make us look like idiots, and they seem to have on purpose excluded it.
Hey, Arwin, can I make a request?
Because everybody has goofy sides to them, and they can cherry pick those to try to make us look foolish, but they just made us, it looked really good and genuine, interesting. So that was surprising, and I liked it. It's a good sign.
Yeah, I agree. That's the opposite of the Behind the Curve documentary, where there were clearly their attempts to make the Patricia, Mark, and Nathan look odd.
Exactly. It's all about editing. Anyway,
Arwin, if CBS News ever approach you for an interview, for the love of God, don't give them one.
What?
If CBS News ever approach you for an interview,
Me?
yeah, you.
But I'm not. I'm Dutch.
Yeah, I know. But just in case, the unlikely event that you happen to be in America for some reason, and there happens to be a reporter there, and she says, "Hey, Arwin, I've seen you on the internet. Can I give you an interview?" And then you start talking about some of the stuff that you talk about. Please don't give me an interview.
Absolutely, I will.
It'll ruin us.
No, maybe just you. Nah, don't worry about it.
You're very quiet, Arwin.
I said maybe just you, but don't worry about it. I won't.
Daniel says in chat that Arwin understands what forces are. Do you understand what forces are, Arwin?
Yep.
What are they?
Force is a relatively broad concept, but in the base definition, it is basically acceleration and motion related.
See,
From
Daniel says that you understand what forces are.
To motion. That it has to be acceleration from still to motion. So, yeah, forces come into play.
So, Daniel says that you know what forces are, but you weren't able to recite what they're defined as. Daniel, I'm going to call bullshit. He doesn't seem to know what forces are. Do you not remember the definition, Arwin?
What was it again? F is mass, force is mass, equals or
An interaction?
times acceleration, right?
An interaction? Push or a pull?
Either
Yeah, the word was interaction though, right?
could be. I don't have it in front of me.
So Daniel says that no, Daniel, your comment's not true. He doesn't know what forces are. Do you know what the mathematical definition of a force is, Arwin?
Why are you asking me this?
Because Daniel reckons that you know what forces are, and I'm just seeing whether that's true.
Right?
Daniel says, sure he does. He understands that if something accelerates, his forces has to be involved. Sum of forces equals mass times acceleration. Is he right?
Yeah. That's what I said.
Well, you didn't say it though, did you?
No, I did. I was just a bit slow about it.
You didn't actually say it.
Force is mass times acceleration. That's the baseline.
Yeah, but you didn't actually say it though, did you?
Yeah, I did.
You didn't.
Yeah, I did.
You didn't.
I just did it.
You only said it when I said.
I'll pipe
you
up
got a
and
point to
say
Hey,
this?
mate, 4.
no. I'll pipe up and say that Arwin
Hola.
did say it, but he was slow in getting it out.
He was thinking it. We'll credit him with that he was thinking it. But Daniel, you don't know what you're talking about. Make 4. Welcome. Have you worked out that the lights in the sky don't prove globe yet?
They do actually.
How?
You trying to wrap it off with declination again?
Yeah, we're gonna go through declination again because I still don't.
Okay. I'll give it to you. Let's just say, wait up. let's just say I am looking 40 degrees to the left or right in the incorrect direction, because 40 degrees is about the maximum I saw with the declination map. It's funny that we were looking at the wrong maps the whole time.
What are you on about?
So anyway, let's just say I'm off by...
Let's substantiate that. What are you talking about? We were looking at the wrong maps.
Well, you guys didn't even know what I didn't either, so you don't have to be ashamed, but we didn't even know what magnetic maps we
No,
were
we
looking
did.
at.
You didn't.
Yeah, we were.
Yeah, you didn't.
No.
We well know
we
this.
were.
Okay, anyway. Let's say I'm off by 40 degrees, right?
Well, you're about 15, between 10 and 15. Where did you say you were? Canberra?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's about 12.
Okay.
But the problem
So,
is you think that's south when you're looking south, right? But it's not. It's south minus 12 degrees.
But, okay, minus
Guess
12
what?
degrees.
That's where it would be on a flat Earth map, right?
Let's give it 40 degrees just to be safe. How about that?
No, let's just give it roughly accurate. We'll call it 10 because I don't know exactly
Let's
where you
give
are.
it 100. How about we give it
Why?
100?
It doesn't make any sense.
It does. It might make sense though. Just wait.
No, it is.
But
what it
you're
is.
applying this on the azimuth equidistant map, though, aren't you?
Let's just say I'm off by 100 degrees and it's way over there,
Makes
even
no
almost
sense.
behind me.
Let's
Okay,
just say it isn't. So it's 12 degrees. Okay, that's what it is.
No. We'll go with 40 or 100 degrees, whichever.
No, I know where you're going with this. Nathan, would you mind sharing my screen?
So it's off to the left or the right. I'm looking over there, and then somehow South America can see it as well.
No, yeah.
And they're going, wow, it's over there to the left as well. I can see it, Australia.
I get it.
And then anyway, Africa's there chilling as well. Africa's like, whoa, we can see it too.
Here we go.
So we have 3 positions in the south that can see this place, this thing in the sky. How does your model explain that?
I'm just going to do it right now, so just bear with me one sec. Nathan, are we presenting?
You are?
Right. Make 4. You see what? Do you recognize this map?
Yes.
Okay. So if you recognize the map, you'll understand.
What's it called? What's the map called?
It's a map. It's good enough.
What's the name of the map?
Hold up now. Does that really matter?
Yeah.
Just seeing how stupid you are.
That's good. Is it good being as stupid as me?
Well, yesterday you didn't have the slightest idea what the magnetic declination map was. Today you've come on and declared we don't and you don't, when in reality you just don't. You've said you're familiar with this map. You've said you're familiar with this map. Now I'm finding out just how familiar you are with it. Do you know its name? If I said I'm familiar with a person, I would expect to know their name. Do you know the name of this map?
Isn't it like the Mercator projection or something?
No.
Well done. Who told you that?
Wrong.
I've heard it.
Oh, right. Well, you're wrong. That's not the name of this map. That was the map we had on yesterday.
Okay, cool. So
you're not familiar. So just to be clear, yesterday you made out like you were familiar with the magnetic declination maps. Today you've said you're familiar with this map. You don't know its name. You're unfamiliar. Don't lie. Just say no. I'm unfamiliar with this map.
It seems like Riley doesn't know the map either.
We know the map. We've put it on screen. I know implicitly that Anthony knows the name of this map. He knows I know the name of this map because we discuss it. You say you're familiar with it, and yet you don't know the name of it. That's because you're a liar. You want the audience to think you're familiar with it, but you're not. I know you're not. You know you're not. You're just a liar.
Okay, I'm not familiar with this map, but
I
do know.
Thank
the
you for your
shapes.
honesty. Next time when asked if you're familiar with something, if you're not, say no. Not yes.
Okay.
Not I'm familiar.
Okay.
No. It's very simple. It's called honesty.
I have seen the map though, so I'm a bit
No, you
familiar.
thought it was a Mercator. It's not. Okay?
Okay.
Good.
So I didn't
Listen.
know the map yesterday, right? I didn't know the map yesterday, but even if I didn't, if I was off by 40 or 100 degrees, my point
Laurie.
still stands.
Make 4, listen. It doesn't matter about the map. What matters is the concept that we're talking about, and you're applying it on the azimuth equidistant map, correct?
Sure.
I'm going to show you what this map, which is similar to the world map, but it's on a flat plane. I'm going to show you what why it's important that the declination thing is addressed, because there's an issue. And it's obvious that you haven't worked out what the issue was. What we'll do
I know what the issue is, but go ahead.
Well, the declination adjustment's about.
That's where I'm looking, and the black is where I should be looking.
The declination is about 10% where you are, and it's about 13% in Argentina. You can look up exactly where, depending on where you are, but it's around about the same. Now, I can't remember which way it goes actually, but my point is that if we're on a sphere, when we're looking south, you have to have you looking due south at the same time as him looking due south at the same time, but it must be south. But you've got this adjustment called declination, which is about 12% where you are. But if you're not looking south and you're looking 12%, and call that about 12%, depending on how far away this rotation point that you talk about is, and depending on where he is. Oh, by the way, if you're in Africa, your declination is 1%. Just to put that out there. But you've got declination in Australia, you've got declination in this side, and I'm going to assert that if we live on something that represents this, all of a sudden, if you were to carry on these lines further down the page, guess what? That then supports what we say we live on, a flat plane. But it doesn't support the idea that we live on a ball, because it would have to be perfectly south for both people in both continents, and it's not. Now, I'm not saying that I know why, and I'm not professing that I understand. My point is that it's not south. You've got a declination to adjust for, and I'm going to assert that the declination supports our version of what we think's going on, but it definitely doesn't support yours.
Okay.
Do you understand the point now? Now, and I know what you're going to say. You've got the azimuth equidistant map, haven't you? And no matter what you say, your angles are going to be like that, aren't they? Basically.
Sure are. So how do they converge?
Yeah, that's because you're using the AE map to project this onto, right?
Yeah. What's your model?
No, that's what you think's our model.
What's your model then?
I don't know.
Model.
You don't know.
Hold on, mate 4. Let's just get it clear. We have asked you for your assertion. You assert that the stars prove globe. This is your assertion. We're not talking about buildings that we see. Those would be our assertions. What you do when you tell us that the AE map is our model is a straw man. We don't say that's our model.
I do, but that's just me.
This is one of those times, Arwin. Thanks, Arwin. So you're going to argue now about the AE model being your model?
No. Sorry, I got it wrong. Sorry.
Good friends you've got, Arwin.
I don't know. I have my own.
So Arwin's hijacked my point rather than me getting an acknowledgement. We are dismantling your argument, mate 4. This is what you put forward to us as proof of a sphere. Do you understand that?
Okay. You're trying to tell me, well, they do converge anyway, so it doesn't really
point,
matter.
mate 4, we haven't said the stars work thusly on an AE map. That's not what we've said. You have said celestial rotation proves a globe. This is your assertion we are dismantling. Don't create straw men based on your failure of an example when we pull it apart. That's very cheap.
You pretty much just proved a globe for us because they do converge anyway, so...
Sorry, converge?
Yeah, they come together and meet at the South Celestial Pole.
What converges?
The line to those South Celestial Pole stars.
And this proves what?
This proves that we're all looking in the same place.
What?
Well, you're not.
So hold on. So if I travel to the south from where I am now, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's south? Is it under my arse? Oh yeah, this is when Make 4 has a little giggle. This is the starting point of us demolishing your example. When I go that way, the direction the compass points, that would be outwards, not downwards, Make 4. Yeah? When I point this out to you, you have a little giggle. Because I'm pointing out that this proof, in quotes, requires the presupposition of us being on a sphere. Now, when I ask, are these stars under my arse, you have a little chuckle. Because you're a moron.
The lines are supposed to converge anyway.
Sorry.
Like, even the black ones.
Yeah, I'll ask again. Let's see if I get an answer. We're going from where I am now, Make 4, to where you are. Am I looking at the stars that were formerly underneath my arse?
Make 4, they are parallel. The black ones.
No, they're not. They're not perfectly parallel.
They are. They would. I held the shift key down when I did it. They're
so
parallel.
I'm not going to get an answer because Anthony's point's more important now.
reality.
Sorry,
reality,
let me just rip this argument apart, Anthony, before we get into the minutiae while he begs the question. Yeah. So let's just draw a line under this. So make 4. I travel in the direction the compass points outwards, right? Why on earth would I presume that I'm traveling towards the direction of my feet?
Your feet. You're just mixing up things here, I think, Nathan.
No, I'm not. Do you not understand? Maybe if I use the word antipode, do you know what that means? That's that giggle again. It's a simple question. Do you know what antipode means?
It's the opposite pole.
So, am I travelling towards where my feet point now to look at this south rotation? The one that's in the sky above my head.
Well, you got to go around the curve first.
So I have to presume I'm travelling on a sphere then?
Well,
there's that giggle. That's the
talk-
giggle. Let's just say it to you. That's the giggle of a fucktard that doesn't understand that he's presupposing he's on a sphere. Yeah, you laugh it up, fucktard.
Yep, that's you.
That's you, a fucktard. So, are you going to laugh or address my point that as I travel outwards in the direction the compass tells me to go, you tell me that I'm travelling on a ball over a curve, right, make 4?
Which direction is outwards, Nathan? I don't understand you.
Yeah, I'm pointing in the direction of the compass, the one you brought up and told us to look at. This is your... What kind of an idiot are you? You have made a proposition that stars prove the globe. We're pulling it apart, make 4. What part of this don't you get?
So you're travelling south-southwest, more or less, or south-southeast.
Right, and according to my compass, let's put the camera on, that's that way, yeah? It's not that way, it's that way, make 4. Do you get it?
You're pointing outwards compared to down.
Yeah, that's lateral.
So where do I make this assumption that what is out on a compass is actually under my arse, make 4? There's that giggle again. I'll just say it for the audience again. The giggle of a fucktard. You laugh it up, mate.
I'm so happy to be off the flat earth.
What? The flat earth where you the flat earth where we don't assume we're on a sphere and then laugh about it like it's funny?
You believe in a magical dome.
Sorry, I don't believe in a sphere. But you are telling me I must believe in a sphere to make your example work. Do you understand, fucktard?
Sure do.
Right, so you have a religious assertion that we must adhere to in order for this example to make sense. Don't we, make 4?
Yes.
Right, we don't beg the question here. When we travel, we don't automatically assume we're on a ball just because religious zealots like you tell us we must.
Okay, so
we're not assuming we're on a ball, and without assuming we're on a ball, none of this proves a ball.
You can't even see the South Celestial Pole from where you are.
And?
You should be able to, right?
Why?
Well, don't you live on a flat plane?
And that would mean that some lights in the sky become visible at certain geographical locations, does it? That's a bit of a fallacy. Why would that be the case? This is a funny assertion. Prove it.
I can see Orion.
Hold on. Is this a straw man or a claim? Are you claiming this or suggesting that it's my assertion, straw man?
Well, I can see Orion, and I'm pretty sure the Northern Hemisphere.
How are you going to prove what you have just asserted? Is it a straw man, something you claim I claim, so you can take it apart, or are you actually claiming this?
I was just talking a bit of word salad.
Yes, that's exactly what you were doing. Taking part in a bit of word salad.
Sorry, Nathan.
You should be.
I love you.
That's pathetic. Your argument's been taken to pieces. You presuppose a ball for your stars, sunshine.
Are you on the same medication as P. Mars sometimes is?
No, I'm on a
Sounds
different
very
one.
much like him.
I'm on a different one.
What's the word? A masochist. I've taken his argument to pieces and basically humiliated him in front of over 200 people, and his response to that is to tell me that he loves me. So you just like pain.
You're absolutely right. The guy is a masochist.
You
Spot
just
on.
like
He loves being
humiliation.
humiliated.
Yes, you just enjoy being humiliated. That's why you're chuckling. You find enjoyment in this humiliation.
Okay, so...
Yeah,
Distance-
that sigh. Like a little orgasm for a masochist. Yet there it is again. I insult
You're
you and
funny,
you giggle
you're just funny,
like a
that's-
little girl.
You're a bit funny, that's all.
Yet you find degradation and humiliation funny because you are a masochist. Like a lot of the people who come here.
Declination doesn't mean anything, Nathan.
Sorry, declination. What are we doing? We travelling south on a ball, are we? How many times have we got to do this? Has it sunk in yet?
Because we've figured out how to actually point it directly south and not be
What
incorrect.
south? Under my ass? We're pointing under my... Are you ignoring the point that humiliates you? Or are you just going to giggle at the conclusion again?
Well, if you remember, we looked at that magnetic field line map. That's how it works.
That was a flat 2D map.
No, the one with the sphere, and it shows the magnetic
Oh,
field
you mean the
lines.
cartoon?
Oh, it's a cartoon now.
Yeah, we don't really take cartoons as proof of things. What a fuck
And this
card.
still doesn't prove your South Celestial Pole on the
Sorry,
flat map.
we didn't make any assertions about that. You did. Do you forget that this is the end of the demolition of your argument, Make 4? Are there any other arguments that you were given from people in Discord that you would like to present here?
Yeah, but what do you actually believe in?
Sorry, are there any other arguments for your religious belief in a sphere you were given
I've
by
got a
the
lot.
people in Discord that you would like to present here so we can humiliate you further?
Okay, I've got another one that got me off the flat Earth, because I was believing in it.
What you mean got you to presuppose a ball? Like with this example, because the example you just gave us was apparently something that got you off the flat Earth. It didn't. It got you presupposing something the other people who you spoke to have as a religious belief.
Well,
The R value.
well,
That's all they did.
well-
They got you to presuppose R. Your example with stars was a begging the question fallacy. It presupposed its outcome using R. So you didn't get off flat Earth. You just adopted a religious belief in R, Mate 4. Let's get that clear.
well, I was kind of presupposing a flat Earth, wasn't I?
No. Your R value is inserted into the measurements we would take. We don't presuppose anything. We look at stuff and measure it. You take the exact same measurements that we take and insert R. If you're going to tell me I'm presupposing flat Earth, that's your starting point. Before you insert R.
Okay, all these presuppositions then, and you say
Not
you did it measuring
presuppositions, presupposition of
Y-
R. The one used for your stars. Do you get it
Okay,
yet?
so you-
Are you stupid?
Probably.
Well, how many times do I need? It's probably been a dozen times I've explained this to you. You have a religious belief in a sphere Earth, and every example you will present here, Mate 4, will start with the presupposition we are on a sphere Earth. Hello, Chris.
Okay.
Yeah, we hear you.
Let's-
Good to have you. Oh, that's Laurie. Hey, Laurie. Is it Laurie?
Hello.
Laurie.
You say you measure stuff. How do you measure the distance to the sun, Nathan?
We don't make any claims about the distance to the sun. Are you making a claim
Okay.
about the distance to the sun? Shout out to Peanuts Clark
Yeah.
for Super Chat. He says, that giggle says it all. I agree, Peanuts. I'm being demolished. So humiliating. Yeah, you're a dick.
Oh, you've got a goofy laugh as well.
No, you're a dick.
Okay, so distance to the sun.
What's your claim about the distance to the sun, Make 4?
Do you know when the sun rises for you and the same for me, we both have the same azimuth?
I can't be in two places at the same time, unfortunately, Make 4. Can you?
Well, you have a lot of friends in here. Why don't you try it?
What's an azimuth?
It's the degrees on the compass from north.
Really? Let's read out the definition. An azimuth is an angular measurement system in a spherical coordinate system. There's that laugh again.
All right. Let me rename it so we can
Why?
just go with the flat.
Why would you do that? What? Because you've been demolished within 5 seconds of your example?
No, you're just playing word salad.
I read out the definition of azimuth.
Okay.
Well, so what do you think the next thing I'm going to say is? Are you smart enough to work it out?
Okay. Let's just go with degrees on a compass. Degree? Let's
Compass?
call it degree.
What? One that points towards my arse? That kind of compass? Yeah, there's that laugh again. Yeah, why don't you sod off? Why don't you sod off and just assume R somewhere else?
Nah.
What, you want to assume R here? You're like a Jehovah's Witness. You're knocking on our door telling us that we must believe in your belief being R, the radius value.
Which is measurable.
Oh, right. Excellent. Now we're getting somewhere. When has radius been measured? Firstly, what is radius?
Probably about 2,300 years ago.
What is, not what is the radius of Earth, what is radius?
The distance from the outside of a circle to the center.
Of a circle?
Yeah.
A circle, you say? So we're measuring the Earth as a flat circle?
Well, I mean, it's 360 degrees of tiny little circles going all around, isn't it?
Oh, so that would be a different description then. Not circle.
Sphere. Is that what you wanted?
So, you have a measured radius of the sphere, do you, Make 4? Wow. I love to see this.
But we start by imagining we're on a flat.
Oh, we start by imagining, do we? Do we?
Yeah.
Oh, right. I'll just stop you right there, fuckwit. We don't start by imagining anything when we're measuring. We don't need an imagination for a measurement. We need a tape measure, you buffoon.
You can just walk steps.
Oh, really? I can measure a unicorn. Just need a little bit of imagination. Amazing that, isn't it? What you can imagine. Like, you can imagine that too. Go in peace, religious zealot. In R you trust.
Math is reality.
Sadly, yes.
So, we're dropping this then? I thought you just said you had a measured radius. You're going to drop that little assertion after another 5 seconds demolishing your point. How many more points are you going to put forward? Got any more gems from your Discord crowd? So far, all they've done is have you be humiliated here by Anthony and myself.
Okay.
Not okay, humiliating for you. I wouldn't be very grateful to the people who'd given you these examples, Make 4. You're not doing very well.
No one's given me any examples.
Oh, really? You there, Jose?
I'm here.
So, Make 4 claims he's not got these examples from anybody. These are all of his own volition. Is that true?
I got the magnetic map.
I was asking Jose.
Last night.
I was asking Jose.
Yeah, my name is Jose. It's not Make 4. So let me answer that question. 2 days ago, there was almost a whole show rounded by answers to the questions of the housekeeping that were given to me by different bowlers in different platforms. One of the platforms will be Gem Panda's Discord. They gave me many answers and other little places. So, yeah, I know you got answers because I went one morning and you were giving answers to all the housekeeping questions. And you say you might just come in to troll and forget everything they told you. Boom.
Okay, I've learned from all of those people in Discord. Is there a problem?
So you are, yet again, for the second time on this show, proven to be a liar. Like when you claimed you were familiar with a map you didn't know the name of. And now, after being accused by me of being given this information from people on Discord, you said you weren't. Now somebody who was there while you were being given it has challenged you on it, and you're completely tucking tail and lying.
Where do you learn from, Nathan?
Don't ask me something. You are a piece of shit. Yeah, there's that giggle again. This is
Where do you
just
learn?
for the audience. This is what we deal with. This is what we deal with from the Globeheads. Yeah? Liars. Nothing short of liars. They come here to lie to you, the audience. That's what Make 4's here to do. Lie.
Sure am.
Yes, you are. That's exactly. It's demonstrated by us twice on one show. It's not even. How long's it been going? Less than 40 minutes, and you've lied twice and been caught twice. You're a disgusting human being, Make 4.
Make 4. In your own opinion, do you think this show can be better? In your opinion, yes or no? It's a yes or no question. Can this show be better? Okay, so can it be better, right? Okay, the way we can do it better, be humble and be honest with your answers and your approach to the show. Thank you.
I'm sorry that I learned from people. Sorry about that.
What?
You've learned nothing from the Discord because you put all your arguments here, but you don't understand anything of what you've said. That's obvious.
Well,
you've learned how to beg the question. That's all you've learned from Discord. You've learned how to assume
That's it.
Issue. Sorry, Travis.
No, my point is he's missing the point again. The issue is not that you learn something from someone and then go somewhere else and spout off what you learned. The fact is that Nathan asked you a question that you denied, and then Jose proved that you lied. That's the issue. So don't turn it back around on us and say, where do you learn from? Because that's not the issue.
Okay, you don't have a model. Is that the issue?
Wow. So deflection then. Let's not be a man and take account for what you've done. You've been a liar. Let's deflect and talk about something else. It's all you Globers do. I'm not going to admit this. I'm going to point to that over there. I'm not going to admit this. I'm going to point to planes that fly. You're all disingenuous. If the ball was so easy, you wouldn't be lying, would you? I'm
not lying.
But you've just been caught out lying. You're not going to be a man and say you've been caught out lying. You're disingenuous, Make 4. You're just a dick, man.
But I'm not lying about the ball. It's a ball.
Oh yes, this is a good answer. I'm glad you've said that. That is a worthy soundbite. So having been just proven a liar twice, he says, yeah, but the ball's true. So this is your representative, people. This is actually one in a long line of representatives that have come here and said, trust me, the Earth is a sphere, and then been caught out actually lying. Bit like Geo-Deceiver and the Geo-Whisperer, who have lied continually since that little affair. Then Make 4 will sigh and interrupt me while I point out that there has been a long string of liars telling you, the audience, the Earth is a globe, and being demonstrated on multiple occasions with multiple people to be outright liars, like Make 4.
No, not really. I mean, we just do some maths.
Yes, totally. No, not really. Yes, totally. You've been made out to be a liar. You've just been proven, and you're just going to go, no.
I lied about who I got the information from, or how I was regurgitating it.
Thank you. Yeah, we know you are a liar, Make 4. We know.
All right. So next topic.
So you have no credibility here anymore. Why are you even asking us anything? We're not interested in what you have to say now. You're a liar. A self-confessed liar. Yeah, you laugh it up. None of us are impressed.
So how does your model work?
Notice no one else was
laughing.
Don't have
a model. Masochist boy.
So what do you believe in?
I believe what I can see.
You believe in a crazy land that goes forever or something, like an
buildings
infinite plane.
That I can see. So I say things I can see, and you say or hear crazy world that goes on forever. So again, you literally lied about what I'd said. I say I believe what I can see, and what you repeat is you believe in a crazy world that goes on forever.
With a dome.
So again, another lie.
With Polaris in the middle and magical celestial poles.
Why are you strawmanning the hell out of this panel after lying to the audience and the panel?
Because
why are you strawmanning us now, Make 4? Is this the best you've got?
He thinks he knows about.
I'm upset that I believed in your crap.
What crap? We haven't asserted that.
You pretty much just lie and deceit.
Sorry.
Be deceitful.
No,
people anyway.
You lie. That's been proven twice on this show. We haven't made any of the assertions for the straw man arguments you're trying to take to pieces. None of us have asserted any of those things. None of us.
So what flat Earth debate is? Why do you call it flat Earth debate?
Because the Earth is obviously and observably flat. That's why when you asked what I believe, I said what I can see.
Okay.
Yeah,
And
so the Earth is obviously and observably flat, and the only people here telling us it's a ball are people who presuppose it's a ball because they have a religious belief in a ball. And then they send people like you, like a lamb to the slaughter. You know, you're laughing. They're all laughing at you, Make 4. These people that you might think are your friends, they're laughing their heads off at you now as you get humiliated here.
I don't care. They're not really my friends.
Yeah, I know they're not. Why would you ask people who aren't your friends for advice and then come here to offer it? They're not your friends, they're your enemies.
They're my teachers.
Yeah, they taught you badly, and as a consequence, you've been humiliated here. Do you think you owe them a debt of gratitude?
So you're going against all of science?
No,
no, you've gone against what you have said here, specifically. You. And it's you that's been humiliated, not science.
You've presented no science since you've been here, Make 4. So where is this all of science you're rambling on about?
Distance to the sun, guys. Distance to the sun.
Unfortunately for them, you represent them.
What about the distance to the sun?
I don't care. There's little kids 7 years old that represent the globe.
Right, but you're making assertions about the distance to the sun. What can you tell us about the distance to the sun?
Hi, Zinder.
I know for a fact that the sun is very distant.
How?
Well, if you look at crepuscular rays in a tree, it clearly shows that the sun is in the tree.
The sun is in the tree?
That's right.
What are you talking about?
You just laughed at yourself.
What do you mean? What do you mean when you say the sun is in the tree?
Well, have you ever seen the sun behind a tree?
Zinder,
I've seen the sun behind a tree.
Have you got something you want to talk about with us, Zinder?
Have you seen the crepuscular rays going through the tree?
Zinder, I assume you wanted to have a conversation with us, Zinder. Is that correct?
Again, please.
I assume you had something you wanted to chat to us about.
So now I can hear better. All right.
What can we do you for, Zinder?
I just joined now. I don't know what you're talking about.
Bummer. I was really hoping you had something to talk about.
Hoping for a bit of intelligence, Zinder. Sorry.
Just so we can have an intelligent conversation.
We're appealing to authority right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, please go on. I have to understand what you are talking about.
Make 4 says the sun's in the tree. Let's go from there. Make 4, why is the sun in the tree again?
The sun is just above the tree. If you get the crepuscular rays and you do Pythagoras' theorem on it, you'll see that the sun is just right there above the tree.
Okay, so can you kind of parallel that with the Greek with sticks?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're getting 3 million miles out of this. How are you going to do that?
Yeah.
Easily with sticks, bro.
So you've started talking about crepuscular, but now you're on to Aristophanes, right?
Well, you flip back to the distance.
I just wanted to know how you were getting distances from the sun from crepuscular rays and other rays from the sun, like sticks in the ground and shadows. Because you always seem to assert that you can measure the sun's distance. And you need to know something about whether the distance or the size of an object first, don't you?
You can't do it with crepuscular rays. You need shadows.
I'm this close to kicking you out, Mate 4. You said about crepuscular rays and suns being behind trees.
Why are you pushing lies, Nathan?
Right. I think it's time for you to go, Mate 4. You're just an idiot.
You got nothing.
Bye.
I agree.
He's hard work.
So, what else can we talk about? Where were we, Zinder? Didn't we have a conversation that ended with something to do with... What was the last conversation we had? We got to a crescendo of a point. You said you were going to go away and have a look at stuff.
Was this the rock falling from the cliff?
I don't remember when I was talking. When was I talking to you last time? Not yesterday. Maybe the day before.
It was to do with density and buoyancy and gravity, right?
Yeah, Zinder flipped the argument. Instead of dropping it from a building, the rock was already on top of a cliff.
But yeah, this was to eliminate the question who carried the ball up. But I didn't want to make a point out of it. This was like that. This was the other guy who wanted to make a point, and then I was like, all right, let's just pretend the thing was always there, right? So
I've got a question for you. Do we agree that water is about 700 times more dense than air?
Yeah, I can assume that.
Yeah.
Like 1,000, and air is like 1 point something. Yeah, I know.
And do we agree that if a ping pong ball gets dropped through the air, it'll fall at a given rate because of gravity? Like, what is it, 9.8 meters per second squared?
Yeah, I could assume that, but the air resistance just keeps it from not getting fast enough. Like it has some acceleration, but it doesn't. You couldn't say that at the end of when it falls like 1 kilometer, it should fall like at a certain speed because
It's reached its terminal velocity. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Why does a ping pong ball not fall through the water?
Because it's because the water is denser than the ping pong ball itself.
Right. So where does gravity fit into that?
Yeah, that's exactly where we talked about. I still think there has to be a force pulling this stuff down, because
but if it's not going down,
yeah,
still there.
Because once you put it in a less dense medium, at some point, let's say in a vacuum chamber, you should expect it to fall infinitely fast, because the relationship between air and the ping pong ball is different than let's say those few molecules in a vacuum chamber than air. This means if I have to find out how I can calculate the velocity in different mediums,
So
and if it's because of relative density, yeah.
Did you just say then that if you put this ball in a vacuum chamber, it should it should accelerate infinitely fast?
Yeah, almost like
Why doesn't it then?
I don't know. This is because I think that density and buoyancy is only an effect of gravity. It is not a cause of falling things down.
I have a question.
Hang on. So why does it, if density and buoyancy is an effect of gravity, why does the ping pong ball not carry on falling through the water?
Because the density overcomes the gravity in this case, because gravity pulls down the water and it pulls down the ping pong ball, and as effect, the water is already down there. So
that would be my argument, though, right? I would argue that the density of the water exceeds the density of the ping pong ball. But you're now arguing my point.
Yeah,
I'm asking, where's the gravity in it?
Just a quick intervention. What's that on screen right now? Can you see on my thumbnail?
It's a cloud. Is
that going down?
It looks like it's laterally going left to right.
What about these clouds? Are they below us?
They go always heading towards us.
Yeah, they're on top of us. I know.
So it's water that goes up. That's unusual. Surely gravity would pull it down, though, right?
Yeah, but this water has less dense. The density of this water is less.
So
than
hold on.
The density of the air.
But hold on, just a second ago, Zindies, you said that in the medium of air, obviously water goes down. Gravity pulls it down. So we've got the same stuff. We've got the same exact stuff, but based on its density in air, it goes up. So the only difference is density then, not gravity.
Yeah, you could argue it's only density, but
that's what we do argue. That's exactly what we're arguing. Correct. That's what we are arguing, Zinder. That's what we are arguing. Not we could.
Yeah,
we
I
do.
know. Yeah, and I still think it has to do with gravity because of the point of this vacuum chamber I made.
But the point of the vacuum chamber you made didn't do what it should do in real world, which would be continuously accelerating infinitely. But it doesn't do that. So you're making a point there that doesn't actually support the point you're making.
Yeah, this is because this is because my logic tells me it should accelerate almost infinitely fast, because if the ratio of things falling was relative density, the relative density from air to almost a vacuum is like, I don't know, like 10,000 times higher.
Right, but the fact is, it doesn't do it.
Well, no,
right?
no. Not what's it relative to? If you're in a vacuum, it's not relative to anything. There's nothing
No,
there.
it still is.
How can you have relative density if you're removing the very medium it's in?
Because the vacuum still has, like the vacuum I'm talking about, still has like 1/1000th of an atmosphere.
Oh, so you mean a low pressure?
Yeah, it's a really low pressure, but I call it vacuum because it's almost a vacuum. Like it has some air molecules.
So it will be relative to a value that is so minusculely small.
But so you've changed the medium. The density of the medium is therefore reduced then. So you've reduced the medium of the density, and the increase of mass density of the item you drop travels faster because you've reduced the resistance of the medium. So that makes logical sense.
So, you said it's because of relative density that things fall, right?
Well, you had it in air, in the vacuum you dropped it, and the relative density of the air slowed it down, and then when you reduced it considerably, then it went faster because the relative density of the air was decreased. So your variable would be the density of the air. You varied the density of the air, and the item went quicker. Effectively seeming like it's more dense, even though the density hasn't changed at all. What you've changed is the medium it's in. And what we're talking about is relative densities based on the mediums they're in. But you just introduced this thing called gravity, which comes from a Cavendish experiment.
So let me understand this. Is it exponential or is it linear? Or how is it? Because I want to be able to calculate the speed based on the relative density.
Okay, I don't have the mathematics for relative density and the speed to calculate a difference between mediums when you decrease the density of it. Sorry, I don't have that. But ultimately speaking, it makes no difference. There are certain objects in certain densities that have no movement whatsoever because they're the same as the relative density of the medium they're in. They don't move. They just stay exactly as they are. There is no up and down for that particular thing at that particular moment.
Yeah, so neutral buoyancy, or are you talking about what? When it's just staying there, like they are in equilibrium, they don't want to go anywhere.
If the item is the same as the relative density of the medium it's in, it doesn't move. It has no relative direction. It doesn't know up from down. It's just static.
Yeah, is it neutral buoyancy?
Which is just in the same density medium as the thing itself.
Yeah, but is the word neutral buoyancy for this, or
call it a chicken for all I care?
Then Anthony, is it neutral buoyancy?
What?
Neutral buoyancy when the item inside the medium doesn't move anymore, and it is just like
when it's
perfect equilibrium between those
not equilibrium, neutral buoyancy.
Yeah, so neutral buoyancy.
It's when the density of the subject is equal to the density of the medium in which it's in.
Yeah, that's what I asked. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that's the definition of it.
Yeah, perfect.
But when it says density, it doesn't mention forces.
But I'm just saying, in that condition, your 9.8 meters per second square becomes completely.
Yeah, it did.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it did.
No, it doesn't, Arwin. We've been through it many times.
I demonstrated
what's the issue?
Yesterday.
What's yes, it is, no, it isn't.
Over
I
half
didn't
an
hear
hour
that.
shoving it in your face.
I know.
You're acting like nothing
that
ever
relates
happened.
to the buoyancy aspect, not the neutral buoyancy aspect.
Yeah, it was in the definition.
Yeah, your interpretation is wrong.
No,
sorry, that's why I didn't use those words. So I was talking to Zinder. So when you've got two items of the same density, the medium and the item itself, there is no relative change in direction. There is no direction. So under those conditions, your 9.8 meters per second no longer applies.
Oh, I don't know about that. I think so, they do.
Well, okay, you tell me. So you have something that is the same density as the medium it is in. Where are you getting 9.8 meters per second from?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, you don't, is the answer. We're told that you do, but there is nowhere to get any movement from if nothing's moving.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm going to look up initial buoyancy further.
Yeah, it's been the argument for the last 4.5 days.
Yeah, which I like.
Me too. I think it's been
like
great.
1 to 2 hour I only seen. I mean, dude, this is not my life. It's not like I always spending my time in it. There are arguments I never really heard and arguments I never really looked up.
I'm so glad you've said that. Because before the show started, we were having this discussion with Arwin, and we were saying, well, you know, we want to find out new things about it when we're pummeling other people's religious assertions about this very subject. And lots of the audience won't have heard these arguments before. So, you know, in your face, Arwin. I knew there'd be people out there that just, you know, aren't that interested in this, but therefore are fascinated by the subject being discussed, which is why I value you being here, Arwin, to argue about it, to put your position forward.
Okay. When I look up neutral buoyancy, I literally can see two forces cancelling each other out.
Yeah, but you have to show those forces.
Hang on. That's not the definition.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now we remember the discussion. I don't think we will get anywhere with this.
Well, no, because you don't need the definition. So I can just say you've got two items. One is the same density as the medium it's in. Where'd you get your direction? Where'd you get your force? Now, if you can tell me where I can extrapolate a force out of that, then fine. Just tell me where the force comes from.
Yeah, I can't prove this to you.
Well, that's exactly
really
the point. Well said. That's exactly the point. The only way you can assert a force is by using G. And when you do, you look at the origins of G, and it comes from balls in a shed claimed to be able to measure the weight of the Earth. That's what it's for. So that's your origins of G if you're to assert a force. That's the current rhetoric. Any other hyperbole we offer, just so stories, are meaningless, because we do have a standard rhetoric for the force involved when you have neutral buoyancy, which is not there. There is no direction, there is no movement, there is no force, but we're told there is from Cavendish.
What Zinda just said then is exactly the answer that Arwin should have said the other day.
That's wrong.
So, Arwin, if you listen back to what Zinda just said, that is your position. It should be your position, but for some reason it's not.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I
know you weren't listening, but I'm asking you to listen back.
I agree with what Zinder said. I can't prove it.
Oh, brilliant.
Said that from the start.
Well then, excellent. You know, the only thing we've got
further
to that...
something special or something? I've said that from the start.
I know, but you assert it as though it's fact.
I talk about it. Yeah.
No, you vehemently argue about this position that you accept that you can't prove, but you argue as though it's like to the death.
I might not be able to prove it scientifically, but that's not the end of it. There's so much I can't prove scientifically. While I rest my life on the trust of those things.
Really?
You know? Yeah.
You rest your life on the trust?
Yeah, I do. Absolutely every day.
So not things that you can prove, things that you trust.
My senses, for example, the things that I don't understand, things that I see coming in advance, how to deal with my own conditions. All these things I can't prove scientifically at all. Yet, I trust my life in them.
Don't you think that the assertion should be based on scientifically proven facts?
No, I don't.
Well, I do.
Well, that's good for you.
And bad for you.
No, it's not. Unless you keep on pushing it on your side, the way you think. If you're going to keep on pushing that on me, then yeah, that's going to be bad for me.
But 2,000 years of science, Arwin, and they can't prove gravity.
I don't give a shit about that.
Yeah, but that's the point of the show.
It's not my argument. I'm not arguing the Earth is a ball.
They can't prove it.
I don't give a shit.
Right, but we do.
The point is...
That's not my argument. I'm right there by your side.
Owen, please let me get it in on air, because you wouldn't let me say it off air. So the point is, there is a standard rhetoric. Yeah? When you look through the dictionary definition, the Wikipedia search, the general internet search, the forums, the blogs, they're all talking about the same thing. The standard, accepted rhetoric. And that's what we're challenging. But while we're doing it, we're getting rumpused by somebody who says, I don't know, I can't prove it, I disagree with the standard rhetoric, but what about this nonsense? And we're like, well, we're trying to dismantle the current rhetoric. Can't you just let us do that in peace, rather than assert some nonsense that you've got no proof for, while we're dismantling the current rhetoric?
Yeah, but you're doing it with your own fabrications. So
No, we're not. We're pulling
Yeah, you
apart
are.
their arguments.
no, you're not. You're completely misconstruing the interpretation of how these things even work.
So
No,
I
that's not
see
what we're
a
doing.
cherry
Making up
tomato.
stuff just from observations.
We're not making up stuff.
And making
Not
no
making up
mechanics,
anything.
No evidence
basically.
for the
Just saying, oh, this is all not necessary, while you don't really have an insight of
listen.
what's going on there. You just oversimplify things.
No. We're saying
And
there's
then
no
keep it
evidence
that
for
way.
this thing
That's
that
what
you
you're doing.
tell us is gravity. Now, that doesn't mean that we're reasserting anything new. We're just saying you guys can't prove that bit. But you need that bit if we live on a sphere and oceans are
good
kept
for
to the
them.
outside of the ball.
I don't give a
Anthony.
shit about their ball.
Anthony, you're going to include that in your paper, right? With the gravity stuff, that they have to
I
prove
wish
it.
you a lot of luck there.
Yeah,
This is
scientific evidence of gravity is
Yeah.
missing. Yeah, that
So,
would
You're
be
gonna
I'm
fail.
going
If
to
you're
tell
gonna
you-
try that, you're gonna fail. Trust me.
Well, that's the point, to see whether that happens or not. Go on, Zinda.
Good luck.
I think they will say something similar if they read it. If they contact you, they will say something similar to, yeah, it's what about the gravity moons, and you can see the relationship between gravity and the outer planets, and they will give you answers like that you won't be able to prove.
That's
Right.
my point, that they can't prove.
Yeah, but they will, if this is a proof or not is something
That law decides.
subjective to some other people, right? So
No, it's no, it's them other people that you're referring to would be law, right? They would be the people that judge it. The assertion has got to be true, otherwise it's not an assertion that's fact. It's just conjecture.
And with that, I'm going to say first and foremost, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the debating panel for making this debate possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully sharing this debate. If you hated the show, then you know exactly what to do. You've probably done it already. But if you like the show, maybe consider sharing it with a friend or subscribing if you have not done so already. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!